Hi, it's Alexi here from Your Easy Web Solutions. Just doing a quick research in terms of SEO and identifying some quick wins for National Moving Co. Now, when I search for this particular business, I do get a couple of things coming up. And I guess what's really confusing is that the first listing that comes up on Google Maps is National Moving Company. Now, if you click through to the website, it basically comes up with interstate relocations, which is a completely different business. They either bought that other website or basically there's something that's going on. So I guess what I can do myself is actually amend this listing as a contributor, because I do a fair bit of stuff with Google. I'm able to suggest some edits, and that would be looked at as a priority. It will take a while, but I think it's a good thing to do. The business that I was actually looking for is National Moving. Now, that's probably missing the co in here, which would make things a little bit easier. And after speaking to the client, I found that the address of the business has recently changed. So that's probably something that needs to be looked at as well. Overall, for Google, it's about the correct information. So if I am to look at this particular listing, the biggest issue is that it's got 3.6 stars in terms of reviews, which could negatively affect the business that we want to find. So what I'm going to do is suggest an edit, which is going to be changing that, which is now interstate relocations, which is what should be coming up. Interstate relocations, and the rest of the info, I assume it's correct, and potentially the website as well, which is incorrect. And basically send that through, and I'm just going to report that stuff. So that's the least that could be done. Obviously, it's going to go through some changes and will be reviewed, but essentially once it's all done, it will change. Now, with this particular business over here, I would suggest adding the co in there, because that is the correct way for the business to be shown. It's all about information consistency in the end. So if I'm going to go and suggest an edit, I will basically just add that co in there and send that through. So do that, and this will help Google quite substantially to differentiate it. Now, let's look at this specific business in a little bit more detail. Now, this business is about interstate relocations, which is also referred to as backloading. In fact, if you look for interstate relocation, you will find this business a couple of times organically, which is great. However, knowing the industry a little bit, I know that backloading is one of the main keywords. Now, if we look for backloading, it's the actual other competitor that also capitalizes on this keyword, which isn't good. However, the national relocations is one of those really lucrative avenues, because people are really specifically looking for a destination that they're after. So most of the time, people will be looking for backloading New South Wales or Brisbane or Sydney, or a destination that they're going to as well. That is typically the actual user journey, and that's what they're searching for to find out what sort of providers there are out there. So if I was marketing, I'd definitely be focusing on backloading as the keyword. Now, if we go and look at the National Moving Co., the biggest issue here is the entire website. It's nice, clean, and attractive, and it's got a nice, get a quote functionality, but it's potentially missing out a little bit of information. And a thing that we find that works really well is the frequently asked questions presented on the actual homepage. Now, they've got a section here, but it's about having that information being unique and addressing most common questions as well. People will be asking about locations. They'll be asking about costs, and while answering the cost question isn't a good thing to do, because that pretty much kills the inquiry, I think you should basically get people to get a quote. And the whole thing is typically defined by volume and location, or a combination of both. From there, obviously, you could point people in the right direction as well. Now, if I was the business owner, I'd definitely look into the speed of this website. I ran a quick report using gtmetrics.com, which is a free tool, and it basically gave this particular website performance of 37%, which means that it's relatively slow and it could be improved a number of different ways. To understand a little bit more about that, you can look at Waterfall. which is the feature that basically shows exactly what's taking really long to respond. And the thing that's number one here is the actual hosting itself. It takes nearly 4 seconds, actually, in fact, over 4 seconds for that website to be preloaded. So if I was to do something about this website, I would first transfer it into a premium hosting environment, which would save money on the Google ads, because the slower your website is, the worse the user experience is, and the better the Google ads will be performing. And also with SEO, your rankings will be better as well due to the speed component. Now, there's obviously a lot more that could be done, but overall, I think rather than focusing on keywords like interstate removal or removalist interstate, I would focus on keywords to do with backloading. In my experience, they provide much better inquiries, and people who are searching that are more suitable as clients specifically as people inquiring. If you've got any more questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, comment on this video.